This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
I'm Mitch English, welcoming you to this edition of Daily Flash. We got today's talk, tomorrow's trends, and we got you, so we are taken care of. Thank you so much for joining us.
The World Cup has done a lot for this country.
Hasn't it?
And it's been terrific to see how great America is through other people's eyes. And one thing I never expected was that people would become obsessed with certain American things that we probably take for granted.
Yeah.
One of them being ranch dressing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I love a good
Something I
ranch
never thought
dressing.
about, right.
I love a good homemade ranch dressing.
Oh, right, okay.
But people are obsessing
Yes.
over the ranch dressing as a condiment, as a dipping sauce, as
Mm-hmm.
a sandwich spread.
And here's the thing, we found out why they've been looking all America, but they can't find this valley, this hidden valley.
The Hidden Valley, yes.
It's
like,
well
hidden.
hidden.
So hidden.
Where is this hidden valley? I need it. It comes this
Well
magical
hidden.
creamy sauce. Apparently, they're all Italiano.
The ranch dressing. It is
They're dressing. They wear the clothes. No, they eat it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I apologize. To all
Sorry.
I am not generalizing yet. But how you mentioned that. Something I never in a million years thought like, oh yeah, America, we have ranch dressing.
Ranch dressing.
I like ranch dressing. I'll take it on my pizzas about every once in a while.
Really? You do? Ooh.
I like
Dipping
Catalina
ranch
French dressing.
Oh, really?
If you
On
ever
your
had-
pizza?
On my pizza. You have to try it. I'm going to bring some pizza in one day. And you got to have it on
I'll
a pizza.
try it. I'll try
It's,
it.
if you like a tangy, if you want a little sweet. Anyway,
Like a little tank.
in Louisiana.
I like a little tank.
And I tell you what, right now,
Taylor.
Taylor, if we can take a shot at Taylor, he's from Louisiana. Am I joking about Catalina French dressing? Thumbs up or down? It's real, isn't it?
It's real.
Oh, wow.
People in Louisiana and the Gulf Coast, they love Catalina French dressing on their pizza. It's like only a specific place that likes it.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Isn't that neat?
All
But
right.
ranch dressing, you don't think about it, but it's a huge problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's a huge problem, James. You were talking about
it's
this.
so huge at the airports. The TSA is going wild over it because so many people are trying to put ranch dressing in their onboard,
Carry-on.
carry-on. And so it's causing so many problems. They have to have garbage cans, or they're taking out the ranch dressing, putting in the garbage cans because you can't have that amount of liquid, right? It's against the TSA, against the rules.
yeah.
So there's stockpiles of ranch dressing at the airports from people from overseas trying to take it back home. Now I encourage everybody to put it in their, luggage underneath the plane, but a lot of people are like they want a little ranch dressing while they're during the flight.
When I came back from Italy,
Yeah.
I had brought a suitcase because I knew I was going to bring back a bunch of stuff. It was a pantry, I'm telling you, because my daughter wanted olive oil and everything. And so I have it all in there, all the food in there. And as you go up, apparently you can't put spices or
wow.
anything. That coming out of Italy, they go, no spices. Do you have any spices? And I go, I got. They would sell these
But the
packs.
ranch dressing, you're going to leave that right here.
So I said, they go, it can't be in your luggage, it has to be in your carry-on.
Spices?
Right, which is weird, right? Because wouldn't you think like, what is this? Oregano? What is it? No, that's pure, booger sugar. It's complete. That's not marinara. Anyway, so I had to take it out. But the liquids and everything else was fine because I had it inside my luggage.
Right.
So it's interesting to see that things that we just take it for granted.
Yeah.
Other people in the world, we should always remember that sort of
They
thing
love our food,
about our
man.
freedoms
Yeah.
too.
They love our food.
Well,
Because
go-
they should.
Sure, but go home soon or else you'll weigh 500 pounds. before you
That's the
leave.
problem.
That's the problem.
That's it.
Yeah.
You go to those countries to enjoy the fare, and you don't think about what you're eating at the time, and that's what they're doing here. And
Yeah.
we welcome it. by
Yeah,
all means.
absolutely. It's great to see people enjoy it and fall in love with ranch dressing and Buc-ee's and Waffle House and a lot of burger.
And a surprise when it's Golden Corral.
Golden Corral?
Who fell in love? It's like, oh my God.
Like a
Right.
buffet. I don't know what a
Buffets
buffet
don't
is.
exist in Europe.
I
Yeah,
know.
it's an American
You
thing.
know what I'm also hearing a lot of too is about how they're being treated, which is
Yes.
like Americans just
Yeah.
happy, you know. And
Yeah.
you wouldn't think that, but
Yeah.
again, it goes if you want to relate it to food, things we just take advantage
Yeah.
of with
Yeah.
our freedoms. they get to see
Right.
that and enjoy it for just a smaller time. And that should remind us, especially after we just went through our nation's birthday.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I love it.
And it's also a good reminder, and we've mentioned this on the show before. It's like the America that you see in the media and the Europeans and our visitors have said this is 100% different than the America you meet on the road or out in person or out in the public.
And that's weird, but we know that's by design. But that's weird to
It
have
is,
it
right?
like that, you know. But it's great for us because it shows that there's a different side of America that everyone needs to see.
Yes, 100%.
And we want you to come and spend your money
Yeah.
here in America, and in a way we can have another World Cup probably in the next 4 years.
There you go. Oh, fingers crossed.
We also have the freedom to email whoever you'd like. And we want you to email us because we have a question of the day.
Yes, the question of the day I need you to sound off on is, what title fits your life?
Oh, I have mine.
Oh, do you
This
do?
is unfair. I want you guys to go yours
I
because
don't know.
I've thought about this for a long
I
time,
can't.
actually.
I have no clue. That's a good one. I'd have to think about that. You, Mitch?
Okay.
Now that I'm fixed, why am I broken? And I've always wondered, and I think I might have shared this with you, because you think that you're fixing everything, like you and you change. I changed the way I look, and I'm like, well, why do I? Because you'd have to deal with the stuff inside you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so when I realized that, I was like, hey, you know, I mean, like y'all know, I've had a completely different life than what I was before, and you just doing that self-discovery sort of thing. You think you're fixing the right things physically because you look different. Maybe like you might get a different haircut, or maybe you might lose like 170 pounds. I thought that was going to fix everything, and it didn't.
Interesting.
And which told me along my journey is that everything's inside.
Yeah.
And you have to be happy with yourself.
Wow.
James, you?
Me, easy, one word.
What's that?
Resilience.
Resilience. Oh, I like that.
Here you guys ready? Resilience. The James Alexander Show.
like it.
We need to get him to do it
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, we do. That's good.
Our guy who does
Super Dave,
yeah, Super Dave. We
Resilience.
needed resilience.
I got to think about that one. That's a good question.
You have a word that kind of would describe patient?
Well,
Because
yeah,
you have to
I'm
deal
over
with
that. I'm over that patience. That's overused now in my book. I'll think about that and get back to you guys. And you get to us by email. Dailyflashshow.com is the website. You can sound off, answer
I'm going to
questions
ghostwrite
today.
your book. How about that?
You're going to ghostwrite it?
Oh,
Yeah. Maybe that'll be Ghost Fat. That'll be the title of
Ghost
my.
Fat?
That's my title. Ghost Fat. This is interesting.
That's my name now.
Ghost Fat.
Go ahead.
People who achieve major weight loss on GLP-1 drugs like Wegovy and Zepbound are now battling a psychological phenomenon called ghost fat. It's described as a mental disconnect where individuals still feel or perceive excess fat on their bodies even though they've lost significant weight. It's akin to the phantom limb syndrome. Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
The rapid weight loss these medications cause, often 15 to 20% of body weight in just 1 year, makes it harder for the brain to actually update its internal body image.
This is all real.
Yeah, as a result, people may continue wearing oversized clothes, avoid mirrors, they feel anxious or depressed, they even struggle with low self-esteem. Experts explain that the brain simply needs time to catch up to the new physical reality, and that loose, sagging skin can also add to the confusion. Over time, most people adjust in strategies such as cognitive behavioral therapy, mindfulness practices, even just spending more time looking in the mirror can help align perception with reality.
All right, and I wasn't aware that you were talking about, but everything you said, it's 100% true. And I know I'm making this whole thing all about me.
No,
and everything,
no,
but
I mean, it's
I lost
fascinating.
170 pounds. And
Did you feel this way?
I still do. I think
do.
I think there's, and I told you guys I'll hold pants up, and I get my thigh can fit, and I put it, and then I'm wearing it.
Yeah.
And when I buy clothes, now it's much easier to buy clothes off of Amazon than it would be going in store. I used to hate shopping, by all means. And I think that's why you guys have known me for nearly about 30 years, where clothes are just a big deal to me now because I can buy off the rack.
Yeah.
Right,
And
right.
I have a pair of pants. One day you guys have to remind me to bring them in. I'm telling you, I'd hold them up. It was almost a size 50 waist, and I'm like, wow. And I got these short legs. Yeah. And so it looked like cartoon. And I'm like, man, and I hold them out and look at it, and I realized how miserable I was during that time. And I still see myself at that. And sometimes I'll look at myself and I go, man, I look good. And then I'll see myself on TV and I go, God, I got to lose weight. I got to do this, that.
Really?
You think you do. And you think that you have. My belts I always buy them too big. James, I mean, you have anything similar to
So
that?
I've been going, teetering up and down, and what's helped me is the kid. and football. So
Yeah.
started losing weight. I'm on the field a lot more active, and not just sitting down working all the time. So yes, I get it, man. That's the reason why I haven't bought a ton of clothes, is because once I start losing weight, then that's money lost, because
I know exactly.
trying to fit this body, but I'm looking towards the next one.
Can I tell you, when you do lose the weight, get rid of the old clothes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why. Because it's your safety net. And I can't keep one pair of pants that you don't like.
Yeah.
I have
As a
them.
reminder.
And I have a suit one time. One time I took it when I was working in Oklahoma. Me and the weather girl we showed how big it was. She could fit inside that.
Oh, wow.
That's how big it was. And it makes me feel good
Right.
that I've lost that weight. But then I also realized, hey, you have to make changes. But that'd be my recommendation. All right, we got more Flash. We're going to have some fun, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Stay with us. We're back right after this. Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson, along with Mitch English. If you were staying up way too late watching television in the 90s, there's a good chance you spent some of those nights with our next guest.
Indeed. As the host of USA's Up All Night, Rhonda Shear turned B-movies, big laughs, and her quick wit into late-night television gold, creating a cult following that is still going strong today.
Yes.
Now, since then, she's built a multi-million-dollar business, created the iconic Bra, and now she's bringing Up All Night back with her very own Roku channel.
Please welcome to Daily Flash, Ms. Rhonda Shear.
Indeed, Rhonda!
Oh my God.
And thank you. You were the best Up All Night I've ever heard of from a man.
Well, thank you.
You got it.
I have
It's the shoulders.
I have
It is.
rubber bands in certain places to keep it going up like that. I love that. Rhonda, I've spent many nights with you. I know your husband's here with you, but I have spent many nights with you. When I first started in radio, we had a TV over in the corner that said, "Must stay on the Weather Channel." And I would change it to USA, and I would watch you all night long. So I feel
Thank you.
just like, you made me laugh so long, so I'm very excited to have
Thank
you here.
you.
I loved
Basic
it.
cable, it was great. I did it from 91 to 98, wrapped around movies on USA Network, along with the late, great Gilbert Gottfried
Yeah.
on Saturday nights.
Yes.
And we had a ball, and yeah, I didn't expect to go full circle. I've been in the intimate apparel industry
Yes.
for a long time, but this kind of fell out of nowhere. In that, my fans started requesting me to go to conventions to sign autographs. And they were people who grew up with me who were then, all of a sudden, I was getting calls to act again from the kids who were now producing and directing and writing.
That's so cool.
So I get this, I get that one, and then I go to a convention and everyone's going, you need to reboot. We owned a studio, we rebooted, and then that has turned into two channels on the Roku app, one being the Up All Night network, because it's showing everything very reminiscent of the 90s, and another is Scream Queens, which is a big dedication to all the women of horror. So it's really exciting to be on all sides, including producing the new Up All Night. Now I'm wearing the hat of producing my character and then getting young girls showing their cleavage instead of me.
And we're going to talk about how you're making that cleavage look really, really good. And I'm so happy because I get to talk about that. I normally don't get to. I want to talk about your journey, the Up All Night. Tell me how that came about. And really, you made it your own. That's what I love about it.
I did. Well, I was doing stand-up in Los Angeles, and everybody kept telling me at that time in the 80s and 90s that there's no place for a female stand. You have to look funny to be funny. They didn't know where to put me, and I just proved them wrong. I kept at it until I was at the Improv and the Comedy Store and the Laugh Factory and headlining in Vegas. And that I just don't tell me no, because I won't take no for an answer. So that led to me auditioning for Up All Night, and they were looking for a host. So back then, the women in news wore jackets, and it was very conservative.
Exactly.
So all the
we got
women,
some video of this.
all the women came in host outfits, and I went to the audition in a low-cut spandex dress, turned on my curling iron, and curled my hair during the interview.
Look at that hair.
So yeah, that hair. So I was actually wearing 80s hair, but I was in the 90s. I was on from 91 to 98.
I love it.
Well, tell us about the jump, though, from hosting late night to revolutionizing women's apparel. It's not exactly an obvious career path for most people. How did the bra come to life?
You know what I realized is that I was an accidental feminist, which I actually wrote in my book, and then I was selling myself through stand-up, because you're selling yourself the whole time on air, live, and on Up All Night as a host. So I reunited with my junior high school sweetheart. We wanted to work together. He was living in Louisiana. I'm living in LA. We had this opportunity to send a package to HSN, and they were desperate because they had just lost their intimate apparel person.
Okay.
Very small category back then. And they just took a shot. It really was one of those first times that I had luck. And then we got there and sold out in like minutes. And they're like, well, when can you be back? And I was just happy to be back on TV because we'd been married about 6 months then. And I hadn't been working. And my husband goes, well, you need product. I'm like, oh, well, that's different. I thought I could just dance and sing. And anyway, that started us slowly learning to manufacture until we became like the biggest apparel vendor at HSN. And we're still the largest in our category of intimate apparel. So 25 years on HSN and other places selling live, even on Amazon and TikTok now. So shopping has changed and we're changing. You have to change with it.
What you do, and television's changed along with that as well, especially late night television.
Everything's different.
How are you actually, taking everything that everybody loved of Up All Night, and then you turn it in and kind of reinventing it for the streaming generation?
You have to do it. I mean, it's funny. That's what keeps me young. I'm not worried about all this. It's all up here in staying young, and people go, you look great. I go, that's because I'm highly immature. I never had a real child. I mean, I have children, but I have 3 dogs, and that's good.
My kind of girl.
Yeah. So I think that I love working with young people and young actors and writers, and I think that just keeps you relevant. And it teaches you and learning as we go and what it's all about. Even I never knew about film distribution because I was on the other side. Now we're in the film distribution business on the streaming channel.
Oh, we have to ask you about one of the funniest calls you got at HSN.
Yes, tell me about this.
For one of your bras, because this is a terrific story.
Well, one's from a relative of yours.
Yes.
And then through the years, we're on live TV, and there's like a 5-second delay, and sometimes there's male producers, and they don't know what's going to come out of a woman's mouth. And so this woman's going on and on how much she loves my pinup set, and she says, oh, the pinup set is just the best. The panties are great. The bra's great. So comfortable. I got all the other nuns in the convent wearing it too.
Nuns in the convent. I love it.
And I went to Catholic schools, and so did my host, Bobby Carter, who just retired after 43 years. And we both look at each other because we're like, okay, this is not the vision. She went to Catholic schools. This is not the vision of the nuns that I grew up with.
It's a new kind of nun,
It
Rhonda.
was so cool. I got so many cool calls. One that a woman, daughter called and said, my mother's last wish was to be buried in your bra and have all of us wear your bra to the funeral. So we all did. So Bobby, same post I was on with another time, we both look at each other, we're like, I don't know what to say. Like, I'm sorry, thank you, that's wonderful.
Buy the multi-pack.
Buy the multi-pack for all the funerals.
I
No,
love
it was
it.
just wild. It was
Rhonda,
wild
thank you
time.
so much. You guys, you have to check out this Roku channel. Go to Roku,
Yes.
search for Up All Night, and if you want more information
And
on
Scream
the all-new
Queens.
and Scream Queens, you can head over to Rhonda Shear Up All Night or RhondaShear.com. We'll also have this link on our website, dailyflashshow.com.
Welcome back to the Daily Flash. I'm James Alexander along with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Here's your question of the day. Would you rather be famous or completely unknown, and why? Guys, what you think?
Well, I want to be completely unknown. That's why I'm doing this show. And
This is true. But you made a good point during the commercial break, and that is sometimes you can be famous for really not so great stuff. So maybe it's not so great being famous.
yeah, exactly.
In certain
You're
circles.
limited sometimes
Yeah.
what you're famous for.
Right.
So good stuff. And we want to hear from you, and they can drop us an email, of course, where they need to go, James.
Yeah, you can go to the Flash at dailyflashshow.com for the email. Or they can sound off by going to dailyflashshow.com, and we'll have some fun.
All right,
I'm looking
James.
forward to it.
Thank you. We love to make you a big part of our show. Well, listen to this story. New York Governor Kathy Hochul spared a Long Island granddad's license plate from getting flushed down the toilet after the DMV tried to revoke his tags. The 69-year-old driver had sported the license plate P before we go. For more than 5 years, the owner received a letter saying the plates had to go.
Oh, man.
Well, the notice stated that a recent review found the message to be inappropriate for street use. The driver personally appealed to the governor for help. In the end, Hochul said New York should support his plates message, P before we go.
She wound up calling him directly and saying, hi, this is the governor. She
Really?
did, and said, sorry that this happened to you. You can keep the plates. He was very, very grateful that she listened.
Of all of the terrible things that seem to be happening in New York City, this is what they're concerned about?
I think it's funny. I
do too.
How you find that offensive, everybody does it, number
Yeah.
one. And it's something. I mean, if you're traveling through New York and you're playing the license plate game, you'd win double points with that.
You'd want to win with that one.
Yeah, I love that.
I mean, from killing squirrels to canceling license plates. What is happening in New York?
And then they have a communist mayor.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Moving forward, a kindergarten teacher now facing some criticism after taking her young students on a field trip and tying them together with a rope, all to prevent them from getting lost. Well, those in favor actually argue that managing a large group of very young children in a busy public space, it actually could be a pretty big challenge. Some schools use walking ropes with handles as a safety tool during field trips. But critics claim that tying kids together crosses a line that raises concerns about safety and proper training. A lot of people question what policies the school had in place to protect students during their field trip. Something I'm sure it doesn't look as if these kids are like forced. It makes a lot of sense. One of the coolest things I saw is a stroller for like 6 kids. You ever seen one of those before?
Oh,
those are kind of fun. But come on, I mean, I can understand, if one of them fell down, but it looks like it was done properly.
I have no problem with this because, God forbid one of these kids ends up wandering off. Then what's worse, having them connected together or having them all kind of going in a million different directions like herding cats. I mean, it's a safety issue. I'd rather them be doing this than letting them go along the sidewalk on a busy street because that's what it looks like.
Yeah. The only issue I have about this is they should be pulling a wagon. I think that'd be kind of nice with all the food in it and everything. Hey-ya! Somebody in the back. Come on now. Get on now. Get on.
I have seen parents, with maybe one or 2 kids, or one kid on a leash, which, look, I'm not a parent, so I can't tell you how to parent, but I get it for certain safety reasons.
Yeah.
Maybe you've got a kid that's squirrely and you're trying to keep a hold of him and it's hard to. You'd rather be safe than sorry.
Those kids are cute though, man. Look at them.
They are adorable.
Really
I love the little one with the hat.
They all got those bucket hats on.
So cute. A plus-size model claims she was denied life insurance for weighing over 300 pounds.
Okay.
Now, she says the system is broken, accuses the company of being fat-phobic. Last fall, the model accused a flight attendant of telling her she should lose weight. Her claims were never verified.
All right, so I just went through some life insurance policies, and since I updated mine, since I did, I actually had lost weight, and I'm in a BMI. However, they'll send you back a thing. Hey, we quoted you this, but we had to go a little bit higher because they get some questions about your health and everything afterwards. And I was perplexed. And even my agent had no idea why they said that my height and weight was a factor because I typed it all in with my BMI and I'm like average with it. And he said sometimes that's how it happens. Life insurance policies have to do that. You're not healthy. I know you want everybody to think that you're healthy, but you're not. But with that much weight on, you're adding a lot. It's just as if you had, some kind of other disorder or disease or that sort of thing, which, you can't have it both ways. Is obesity a disorder? Is it a disease? Is it, what is it?
Yeah.
You can't have it both ways and then expect life insurance policies to be okay with it.
Well, and the same goes with flights. You can't go on a flight and expect to take up 2 seats and then only be charged for, demand to be only charged for 1 and then lash out at the flight attendants for telling you that, look, you're going to need a seat extender. Her claims were never verified, but clearly, it looks like she's after money.
Or notoriety.
Notoriety,
as well.
yeah.
And I get it because I've been there. I've been just as big as this woman before, and I understand. But that's the facts of life.
Yeah.
And even back then, I realized that's.
And
the
you're
facts
right.
of life.
It's not healthy.
That's unhealthy. All right, we got more of today's talk, tomorrow's trends. Anything you have heard us talk about, we want to hear your thoughts on it. Send us an email.
This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mitch English.
I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk. Let's check in with James Alexander.
Come on, James.
I know, man. Let's check in with those 219 stations
do
that
it.
have watched us across the country. And you're watching us across the world on the American Forces Network. And if you want to find out where we are in your neck of the woods,
Come on.
go to our website, dailyflashshow.com. You see that where to watch? Click on that and find out where we are. And on that list, you will find Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Hey, all right.
Minneapolis. Oh yeah,
Home of that girl, Marlo Thomas.
But
okay.
also Mary Tyler Moore show
Mary
was
Tyler
based.
Moore,
Was that
yep.
in Minnesota?
That was in Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
Now, it has the only natural waterfall. What is that? St. Anthony Falls.
I went chasing that one time.
Did
Don't
you
do that.
How'd
Don't
that
go
work
chasing
out?
waterfalls there.
Went to the rivers and the streams.
I took a lot of
Stick to the
TLC.
rivers and streams that you used to.
There you go. Yes.
Okay, I got you.
Nice,
I would
James.
make
Good
sure.
work.
Our station, by the way, there is what? KO? Cool.
Yes, it's
FM.
cool. And just one more thing about that waterfall. The Dakota people consider the area sacred.
Oh, I would
Because
imagine
it's the
so.
only natural
Fascinating.
waterfall. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
All right,
Good stuff, James. Thanks for
Minneapolis, we appreciate you and
Yes.
everybody who watches us on our 219 stations, including the Armed Forces Network that we are also on as well. Big talk all the time, especially it seems like during the summertime we talk about more weight loss stories because people are getting in shape, but we also hear about these the pills that people are taking, especially-
shots,
and the
yeah.
shots and that sort of thing. Right, people are actually getting now those plastic surgery to fix what they call their floppy, old-looking Ozempic earlobes.
Come on.
Your earlobes.
Ozempic earlobes.
Yeah, it's happening right after rapid weight loss from GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic and Mounjaro. The quick procedures, it includes fillers, fat grafting, minor earlobe reduction surgery as well. It helps restore volume and also the youthful shape and sagging earlobes that lose fullness and appear kind of stretch and droopy, and it helps the earrings sit a little bit better, which is really weird. You never think about that.
Yeah.
Patients say it also often makes them feel younger overall. When you do lose weight very fast, you look gaunt. And people would tell me I look gaunt, and I go, no, you're just so used to seeing me with a puffy face. And you usually lose weight quickly, faster in your face as well. But you lose this weight, when you lose it so fast, you have that hanging skin everywhere.
Yeah.
You're talking about that. I mean, a lot of people want to get rid of the skin quickly, and one of the ways that they do it is go through surgery. So a lot of surgeries, a surge in weight, like loose skin surgeries, body lifts and lower body lifts and so on and so forth has jumped because of the weight loss drugs. Yep. It said, 30% of people who have lost a ton of weight within 12 to 18 months, they automatically elect to have the surgery because it is a body transformation. So, you're saying your look changes dramatically. But your face changes. They only see this part. Clothes can hide a lot.
Yeah.
You're looking at yourself at home, unless you have a significant other, in the mirror, and you're seeing all the loose skin, and that changes everything. So a lot of people are electing to have those body lift surgeries.
I would think if you've lost a lot of weight, you've probably had a much fuller face. Which back to the Ozempic earlobes, it's hidden your ears for quite some time. Odd to say, it's an odd thing to think of, but I guess the droopy, saggy earlobes is part of it, and having that taken care of, that's maybe another obvious reminder of what you've been through.
Also, skin removal, very painful. Having plastic surgery, previously with a facelift here, I've had it before. I talked to my doctor about that, and he's like, it is much more painful to lose it around. Usually, most people lose it out of their gut because you hang out.
Pretty
Let me show you
stationary.
really quick.
Because you can't do a lot of movement once you've had that tucked and turned, right?
And a lot of people don't realize too is that you get older, you're going to get skin drooping anyway, or maybe you might lose a little weight. And generally, sometimes when you get older, you gain weight back as well. Well, imagine if you cinch something in, and then you gain weight, your body's going to look a little bit different as well. Just things that you have to kind of keep a reminder of. I totally understand why you would want to lose it, because it's like you, and especially people that have worked and they worked out and they still can't do it. What they have found is people though that if you work out while you're going through Ozempic, if you're going to do it, it's going to help out a little bit.
It will help out a lot,
100%.
Sure.
So keep that in mind if you're planning on doing that. And we don't care what you look like. You can be right now, if you want to see what you look like without clothes on, you could stand in front of your TV and watch us. We don't care, do we? Or don't?
No, we don't.
We don't care at all.
We like earlobes any size.
We love them.
We love them.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Daily Flash. Look, it's time for Help My Home. I'm Mitch English along with Andrea Jackson.
We've got some great DIY tips for your home, all about having the right tools that are easy to use. Here's DIY expert Kristen McGowan with more.
If you're doing any wall painting around your home, especially floor-to-ceiling wall painting, you need an extendable roller stick. I will not paint a room without this extendable roller stick. This goes from 2 feet to 4 feet, I think, and it allows me to reach all the way to the ceiling and all the way to the bottom edge without stepping on a ladder, without bending up and down. you can really roll out your paint very quickly using an extendable roller. So this is really the only way to get painting done around your home quickly and easily. You can pick these up at the paint store, you can pick them up on Amazon, there's different versions, some have a little bit more padding than others, you can have extendable rollers that go even longer. So make sure you get the size that works with your space, but trust me, this is a must-have for any DIY. Now, something that comes in handy for every single project, even if it doesn't require any painting, is painter's tape. I use painter's tape on probably every single project because it's the perfect tool or supply that helps me visualize what I'm about to do. It helps me kind of plan out projects. It also helps me create level lines and really good spacing. I use painter's tape every time I put up wall art because it is that temporary thing that can stick to the wall that you can use to mark different areas before you go ahead and install anything. So this helps you avoid a lot of mistakes, I would say. So if you're doing any project, I would get a roll of painter's tape and plan the whole thing out with tape first. I do this with picture frame molding placement. And of course I use it every single time I paint to get clean lines. So it's always something that I have. It always comes in handy, and it's definitely something that everyone can use. Now, if you want to get any wall art up around your home quickly, easily, without any tools, you can do it all on your own using 3M drywall picture hangers. These claw hangers can just press into your drywall. They even come with the markers that help you plan out exactly where you want your hangers to be, so everything's hung perfectly. It's really the easiest way of hanging something heavy. So I've used the 65-pound claws on a full wall mirror that I hung, and then I used the 25-pound claws to hang smaller pieces. So they have different weight options that you can choose from just depending on what piece you're hanging. You don't even have to hit a stud using these drywall picture hangers. They just claw right onto the drywall and somehow hold the weight that it says. So
Like a
you just have to
J-hook,
make sure you're buying the right
and what
weight
you do is
capacity,
you just
but
make a
wow,
pinhole, and then it,
Yeah.
we're talking about
These things look great.
the hook. Yeah, these hooks. There's a J one where you can put it in, pull it up, then it has like a little hook you can do on that. That's what I
I
was trying to
love that
explain.
idea. The epoxy floor trend is dominating social media
Oh yeah.
feeds with reels featuring floors that look like they are straight out of a
These
storybook.
things are really cool. Here's one designer who is showing you the different ways you can actually create an epoxy floor with everything from swirls to roses to anime characters, believe it or not.
Pour bronze and black onto the floor of the following room using the same careful blending techniques as before. Let the resin harden fully, then polish carefully and place the furniture with style. The next floor takes on a vast ocean-inspired style, blending blue and white with a clear, glossy layer on top. The result is a calm, flowing atmosphere that makes the space feel peaceful, airy, and inviting. One of my most unique ideas is using real flowers. Pour clear resin over the floor after covering it completely with blooms. The room looks like a fairy tale come to life. Then I return to my favorite metallic style. Pour white and gold epoxy, using long sweeping strokes to create elegant, flowing patterns that dance across the room. Add a layer of clear resin on top to give the entire floor a glossy finish. The floor makes the space feel more open, airy, and inviting. A cartoon character is created on the floor using sparkling, colorful stones. Once the design is complete, pour white resin over it and polish everything to achieve a perfect, flawless shine.
It's not news. It's not nonsense. It's that weird place in between. Opinion-ish. Coming soon.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to that.
All right.
Now, a little inspiration for the millions of procrastinators out there. Lifestyle editor Joanne Butler has more.
If you procrastinate, you're not alone. Studies suggest more than 70% of Americans say they habitually procrastinate on daily tasks, especially this time of year between spring cleaning, work assignments, and tax time. That's why tax prep company Jackson Hewitt has declared Thursday, April 2nd, National Get It Done Day. They say it's about turning procrastination, or what they like to call pro-taxination, into progress. With more than half of Americans admitting they spend more time worrying about tasks than actually doing them, April 2nd's Get It Done Day offers a simple solution. Pick one thing, get some help, finish it, and feel the difference, no matter what it is. And if it is taxes, they want to help by making it even easier to get them done and get you the biggest refund you deserve. Great news for the 62% that state having tax help would push them to do their taxes sooner. To find the nearest Jackson Hewitt office and book an appointment, check out jacksonhewitt.com.
All right, thank you there, Joanne. Let's move on with some trending news stories. McDonald's biggest burger has made it here in the United States. Now, this burger, it features, you ready? 2/4 pound beef patties, 3 slices of melted white cheddar cheese, crispy onions, slivered raw onions, lettuce, pickles, and a big arch sauce. Weighs in 14 ounces total compared to the 3.5 ounces of a standard burger. And with a big burger comes big calories. The new Big Arch burger, you've probably seen it already on the McDonald's sides. It clocks in at 1,000 calories. That's nearly the amount of a complete Big Mac meal. And that includes a fries and a medium Coke. That comes in at 1,100 calories. I don't know if it's gonna catch on because like I was listing everything on it, it didn't play as a song, you know, like the Big Mac, 2 all beef special patties, lettuce, sauce, cheese, onions on a sesame seed bun.
But yeah,
Didn't work.
Doesn't work as well.
No, so not.
I have reservations about these fast food joints coming up with bigger and more crazy concoctions because I think the trend right now is people are starting to step away from that a little bit, you know, and realizing that a lot of that stuff isn't so great for them.
I went to, I can't remember where, I want to say maybe Burger King, I don't know. It was when Liza was out of town, so it was a fast food restaurant. But I said I wanted a medium drink, thinking I'd be fine. They hand me this thing. I'm telling you, this darn thing was this big.
Crazy?
I go, that's the medium? She goes, yeah, you should see our large. And the lady showed up the large. I'm like, I go, all right. I never wind up finishing it, you know, because I got to do it before I get home.
Yeah, that is true. Well, if you look at movie theaters, for instance, if you go to the movie theater and you want a small popcorn, I don't know if they even offer small popcorn anymore. I mean, you've got to get the big tub of popcorn, and the drink is, you know, this big. It's huge. I mean, it's ridiculous.
The ratio doesn't match,
no,
what you're saying.
Not at all.
Interesting thing about popcorn, when they first introduced it, it was a poor person's food. So like because you know, when they had the movies, you dress up and be really nice, but they realized that the amount of markup that you can make on popcorn is outrageous, insane. And so they go, you know, we can make a lot of money. And that's where movie theaters make their money, is in
the concessions. Very true. Well, doing homework in the future has a new look. A tech company has devised an AI homework agent named Einstein that will complete your homework assignments for you.
Wait.
The digital creation will log into a learning management program on the user's behalf. It watches lectures, it reads essays, writes papers, participates in discussions for you, even submits your homework, and no subject is off limits.
And then, so we're all worried about AI taking our jobs. We're taking them to college. We're giving them courses on how to do the job. Really, if you think about that.
I just think this is wrong on so many levels.
It's interesting that this did come up because a professor came out saying that they're getting smarter on knowing what is AI. And one of the words you can tell, outside of the dashes, the emphasis, if you see an emphasis dash a lot, that number one will tell you that it's AI. If they use the word moreover, and words like that, like nobody says that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But AI does, and so that's a flag. And then there's also ways where they can go, all right, you got your paper, I'm going to put it in here. Even my email right now says this looks like it was AI. It'll tell me it looks like it was AI.
Really?
Yeah. So I find that interesting. I mean, you're going to have one that's going to fight the other. And teachers are going to find ways to get around the way that you think that you're doing your job. And you're really just doing a disservice to yourself to have a computer do everything for you.
Well, I think there's always been ways to kind of shortcut learning. I mean, for us, it was Cliff Notes.
Yeah,
you know, if you got the Cliff Notes. But this takes it beyond a whole different level. I mean, this is basically somebody sitting in for you as a student, and you're not learning a darn thing.
And I would say with the Cliff Notes, you're still reading it. And you have to, and to me, that's how my brain works, because I think if I had the Cliff Notes, or the Reader's Digest is what I always called it, version of something, it takes out all the stuff I really don't need to worry about, or maybe it doesn't think about that, but it'll give me the general idea. I'm more of a broad strokes guy, and I think with ADHD, that happens a lot.
Or sometimes if you get that, then at least you can understand the general premise of something, and then you can go back and read it and have a whole different experience.
All right, well, it started off as kind of a quirky offering from a funeral home, has actually blossomed into a full-blown trend in Japan. It's called coffin lying, okay? It's basically the practice of meditating inside of a coffin. It's giving people a safe place to contemplate their mortality or just recharge. Companies who are promoting their coffin lying services have said that this kind of meditation is useful for people who want to spend time alone. Yeah, you can do that and ease your nerves. All right, get this though. Customers will pay about $13 for a half hour. They can also choose between an open or closed casket. Have you ever been inside of a casket?
No,
I have.
no. Have you?
And it's scary only because you know what it's used for, I guess, that sort of thing. And my friend, growing up, he was about, I don't know, 6 years older than me, and he worked at a funeral home, and he would pick me up in the limousine all the time, which is kind of cool.
The hearse?
Well, the hearse and the limousine. They picked me up, which everybody thought I had a limousine, which was kind of cool. But he had a casket, and it does freak you out. There's something about it. I think just because it's different than just laying in a box. And I would go in a cardboard box, I would have a problem with it.
I heard somebody tell the story about that phrase "Saved by the Bell." Have you ever heard that story?
Other than the TV show.
I don't know exactly if this is true or not, but I thought it was
I know what you're
interesting.
saying, yeah.
Where back in the day when people passed away, maybe they weren't all the way dead. They put them in the coffin, put them in the ground, and some of them would actually still be alive. So they decided to start giving people bells in case, for whatever reason, they woke up in the casket, they could ring the bell and get help and get,
All right, well, I'm putting one of those in mine.
Yeah.
Maybe not like a string on a bell, but maybe like some kind of button. Somewhere, hopefully with a battery that lasts a very, very long
Get
time.
one of those that sounds like the flight, the ding dong for the seatbelts.
Yeah, I'll open it up and a flight attendant will be there. Yes, can I help you?
Stay with us, we're back right after this.
From the biggest pop culture moments to the stories you'll be sending to the group chat, El Flash Latino brings the energy, the attitude, and the savor every single time.
Saludos a todos, yo soy Gisela Bouvier. Y yo soy Fabián Marcano y le damos la bienvenida a El Flash Latino.
With Fabian and Gisela serving up laughs, hot takes, and pure personality, you never know what they'll say next in whichever language comes out first.
Pero we're in Spanish. Yo soy Isis. There, from...
Jump into the show that celebrates culture, comedy, and all things Spanglish. El Flash Latino.
Let's find out what you need to binge watch this weekend. Jackson, what do you got for stream for the weekend?
This is one of my new favorites. My pick for the weekend is The Madison on Paramount Plus.
Mine is not a family designed to withstand tragedy.
The worry is what you do next.
I know you are hurting. We are all hurting.
I'm 65 years old. I have a very small window to feed this. Wanna go fishing?
I don't know how.
Neither do I. But men do it drunk. So how
Wow.
Another hit from Taylor Sheridan, who just continues to crank out one hit after the other. He is dialed in to the TV pulse of America.
He knows the formula for sure.
Yes.
And one of the things I love, as you look at this right here, is his DP, the director of photography. And I mean, first you got the landscape. All right, you got New York there, but it's out there in Montana.
Yeah,
right?
Montana.
It's unbelievable, which all his shows do just that.
And how great to see Kurt Russell. I love Kurt Russell. More and more every day, I love that guy.
He's, you think about somebody who has been in the business since a child and that you never had, you'd think he'd be some kind of drug addict or whatever. Not the case at all. He actually just went out 43 years, I believe it is. He and Goldie Hawn have been together, not married, but together. All right, moving forward here, as we tell you, of course, if you're looking for some fun, some smart, weird, interesting hospital humor, maybe a little unhinged, got your next binge locked in. It's St. Dennis. It's streaming now on Peacock.
Push! Oh, welcome to Earth. Oh, you lucky little baby. You just plopped out into St. Dennis's new birthing center. If that was gross, leave it out.
All right, St. Dennis is a mockumentary about a chaotic hospital staff just trying to survive the day. It has Wendy McClendon-McCovey, David Allen Greer, Allison Tolman as well. Fast, awkward, really funny. You can watch it on NBC, but also on Peacock.
That does it for us. Peek it, everybody.
Bye-bye, y'all.